Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Reynolds Outdoors. And today's a video that's been a long time coming. I was thinking back the other day, I thought I had done a Benelli M4 video, but when I went back and looked, I just barely mentioned it in the home defense shotgun video I did with it was like top three, whatever, where I didn't talk too much about it. I didn't go in depth on it, and I'm pretty sure I said I would do a video on it. And well, I don't want to be a liar. I know it's been forever, but better late than never, right? So yeah, this is the Benelli M4 or the M1014, and this specific configuration, that's what it says on the box. It does say M1014, and it does have the skeletonized stock, not adjustable, but don't want to get too ahead of myself. So yeah, let's get into it. Very popular shotgun. You've seen it, movies, video games, John Wick, Call of Duty. Yeah, we all know that. That's all been said a million times over in every other YouTube video about the Benelli M4. So it's going to be hard to be original, but I'm going to try my best. And maybe if you're, just now thinking about buying one, maybe your local gun shop has one, and this is June 2021. So prices have gone up across the board in many states, especially, some more than others, and these are kind of getting hard to find. So fortunately, we've been getting them in from Benelli. Hopefully they keep coming, but well, we'll see. We're kind of in the eye of the storm right now with all the craziness that we saw in 2020 and into 2021. So things have kind of chilled out, but still a little bit nutty. But anywho, let's start down here at the tip and work our way back. And all of its glory, that is the Benelli M4. So in this configuration, it just has I'm going to point the shotgun at you right quick. It does have a fixed mod choke. Of course, we put our little little brass choke gauge down in there. It's kind of improved, modified, but we're not going to split hairs. It does say on the website fixed mod, and I believe on the box it does say fixed mod. So I'm just going to say it's fixed mod. I don't want to, I don't want to make Benelli mad. So moving on down, well, wait, let me slow down. You do see that it has the ghost ring sights up here, and it does have those blades protecting that front sight. When you're running around LARPing in your basement or in your backyard, and you're slamming the gun around and all that jazz, having a good old time, you're not going to break your sight, or you're less likely to. So and this does have the, it says on their website it is optional in some guns, but this one does come with the tritium inserts. So when you turn the lights off in your basement, you will be able to see your, sights. They'll glow, light up for you, so you can, take out all those threats in your basement or wherever they are. Moving on down, or moving below the barrel right here, you see this thing, this weird looking, this piece that looks like it doesn't belong. That's because it really doesn't, but it has to ship. So let me go ahead and touch on 922R compliance very briefly. I'm not going to get too far into this, into that rabbit hole, but the gun's not going to ship with a magazine tube longer than five, capacity holding 5 shells in the mag tube. Of course, you put one in the chamber and you can ghost load one, but the mag tube can only hold 5. That's just importation laws. Look it all up, educate yourself on it as best you can. So because if you do buy one of these guns, or a gun that's, a long gun that's manufactured in another country, you definitely don't want to be a felon, because our current administration is doing everything they can to make law-abiding citizens and gun owners felons. So we have got to stay on top of that and make sure we're not breaking laws, but also fight to protect our Second Amendment right, of course. But yeah, though it's fake. It's not a real magazine extension or anything like that. It actually stops right there at that, where that gray gets into that dark black color there. So it's just a piece of aluminum. It unscrews, the mag cap locks down onto it, and I may take it apart here in a minute just to show you how field expedient these things are. And I'll probably struggle really hard, even though I take these guns apart, a few times a week, but I'll struggle for the camera. Okay, so moving on down, you got this little ring right here, actually where you can run a sling through. I don't know if you can see that. Now, the Magpul slings I've learned are a little too wide, most of the Magpul slings, but the Vickers sling by Blue Force that we do carry here are thin enough to, You can loop them through. They work like a charm, and I like those better anyways. But hey, I'm not trashing Magpul, but I do like this. I don't know. I fitted one on here, and it's nice. It's nice. I recommend it. But I'm sure there's a bajillion other slings out there that you could make work with this gun. And also I might note that these guns they come shipped with that little ring. I'll pull another one out. I got some H2O models up here. They come with that little ring, you know, at the 6 o'clock position, you know, pointing down right there, kind of in the FUD sling position, I guess you'd call it. So what you would need to turn that around, and a tool that is going to come in, you know, a must-have tool if you're going to be a Benelli M4 owner. You've got to have some type of retaining ring or snap ring pliers. Channel Lock and a million other companies make them, in order to swap that around, because it is locked on there with one of those rings. So that's going to be something you got to have if you're going to work on this shotgun or play around, take parts off, add stuff, but make sure you're 922R compliant when you do that. But so yeah, that's a very handy thing to do. A lot of people don't realize that. They'll just hook a sling up, you know, north and south like they would any old, you know, like their daddy's shotgun from, you know, from way back when. But you can actually rotate that around, and how you have a sling loop back here. I don't know if you can see that. You can run it through and be super tactical and all that good stuff. So, all right, moving on down. Forend, pretty boring. Nothing really. You can't really attach anything to it. Now there are aftermarket parts. You can change that out. Give you all kinds of M-Lock stuff. Lots of companies make it. Very pricey, but it does have a cool look though. It has that classic look. I don't know. There's something. It's like a, I don't know. This gun looked to me like the Franchi Spaz is such a cool shotgun, iconic shotgun. I think it has almost all of the coolness, the cool factor, the cool points of that shotgun, but it's just so much better as far as performance. But I mean, come on, you're comparing a gun that was built in the, I think, late 70s, early 80s, and one that's, you know, built in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, so it's not really a fair comparison. But I don't know, it just has a really cool design. One of probably the coolest shotguns I think we have on the shelf. I mean, and I'm a huge shotgun guy. I grew up my, you know, whole life just thought shotguns were the coolest thing in movies. You know, I got to talk about Terminator. I know the guys around here make fun of me because I talk about it a lot, but I don't know. And not just me, customers will look at this gun like, man, that's just like something the Terminator would have. I'm like, yes, absolutely, I agree with you, very much so. But you know, so pretty boring right there. The, you know, the Forend handguard, whatever you want to call it. It's nothing high speed. Can't put any attachments on it, but it looks cool. I mean, I'm trying to make something out of nothing right there, but you know, bear with me. All right, moving down. Oh, well, the barrel is that like grayish phosphate finish. Very nice. Looks good. Looks nice and tactical. And moving on down to the receiver, you got that anodized finish. You know, pretty standard. And you do have the American flag. I hope you can see that stamped right there inside the receiver. That's awesome. And you don't get that. Yep. Not on the H2O, and I don't think on just the other standard models with the fixed or that one piece humongous stock on there. I do not believe those have the American flag, but for what it's worth. I mean, that's plus 10 reload speed right there with the American flag on it. So charging handle, it's okay. I mean, it's extended. It's not. It could be a little girthier. Oof. But it's, you know, it gets the job done. You can look all cool, come over from the side, very John Wickish, you know, do all that good stuff. So it does have a little bit of extension. Now the bolt release, where I do have to bring it up, the 1301 tactical wins. It beats out the Benelli there with the controls, because they're not enlarged, but you can order, like I said, you can change out parts, add all those big, you know, big old pedals and stuff on there. Yep, so talked about got your rear side aperture back here, and also you got that nice 1913 pick rail on top of the receiver. Yeah, I mean, nothing crazy to talk about there. You can add whatever optics you want, and a lot of guys are taking those off, put Scalar Works mounts on there to get a lower, to get their red dot a little bit lower, so they're not so high up on the gun. So you can remove that and add whatever you want, but it's cool if they do add that. So I mean, throwing an RMR or a Leupold Delta Point Pro on top of there, I don't know. We've done it. We've looked at it. It doesn't seem too ridiculously high, you know, on top of that rail. But again, if you buy the gun, you do what you want with it. Oh, let's see. I want to talk about the takedown pin right here. So most of the time you get, usually in shotguns, you get 2 takedown pins that you usually have to, you know, get a hammer and punch to take all that out. So, but with this one, you really don't, because you just give it a nice, take your knuckle, give it a nice little knock right there, and you see there's a little bigger piece right here that you can, it's very AR-15 like. So, which again was important for the military. Field stripping, taking it apart without needing tools. Now I'm talking field stripping. I know I mentioned earlier you needed those snap ring pliers, but just for basic disassembly and cleaning, you don't need any tools. And you can actually use the charging handle, and I believe Mr. Guns and Gear did that on one of his awesome videos. You can use the charging handle to actually undo the gas system, or the pistons, which I need to talk about that now. I just realized I haven't mentioned that. So this shotgun, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull it apart. Why not? Just to show you. So now this piece right here, like I said, this liar of a magazine tube, fake news mag tube, will just unscrew and unscrewing. Now you can pull it all off in 100 million pieces. Not really, it's just a few pieces. But I'm gonna try and do this without making too much of a mess and try to keep these pieces together. So there you go. All right. So there's your fake magazine tube. Not real. Now the hand guards. Now you know this. I'm pretty sure I touched on this earlier. This shotgun was developed for the Marine Corps, or I think they were the first ones to adopt it. And you know, because the right piece of the handguard, notice it says right, and it has an arrow. Those words, indicating which way it needs to be oriented when assembling the shotgun, so there's no confusion. I half expected it to be written in bright crayon of some sort, but I guess I don't want that to come off in the field. And of course, sure enough, the left one says left with an arrow pointing in the direction that it needs to be oriented when assembling the shotgun. So, okay. Now, I told you about how to adjust your sling loop right here. You can see those little, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see it. Little snap rings, focus, yeah, maybe you can see that. But if not, trust me, they're there, snap rings. Now this is your gas system here, so a very interesting gas system. And to note, a quick note, Benelli doesn't do gas operated shotguns. This is, in fact, as far as I know, this is the only one, unless there was some just obscure shotgun they made 100 years ago that I don't know about. This is the only gas operated shotgun they have. So, and it's actually it's called the Argo system, or the auto regulated gas operating system. And these 2 pistons, self-cleaning pistons, as you can see, they're moving right there. So that actually pushes the bolt back. So the expanding gases from the shot shell are captured in these little portholes inside the barrel, and that hits the gas pistons. The gas pistons pushes the bolt goes back, ejects your spent round, loads another one, magic. So very reliable system. Now you can go and read 100 million different things, forums, watch a bunch of videos where guys say, oh, it's not going to shoot cheap Walmart loads, or it only shoots buckshot or real hot stuff. But I mean, guys, a semi-automatic, these guns are designed to shoot buckshot, slugs, you know, rounds that normally military would use. So of course non-lethals no pump shotgun or semi-automatic shotgun is going to, you know, effectively use non-lethals, but we're not going to talk about that because that's only really used by LE and of course military. But after a good, you know, a break-in, you know, you should be able to shoot 1 ounce loads, no problem. A lot of people reported back to us that, you know, these guns do handle the light loads after putting, you know, some 2 3/4, 3 1/4 dram or 1 1/4 ounce loads through it. Putting a, you know, a few boxes of that, maybe a cleaning. Thing's gonna run like a clock. So yeah, so the guns, they work. They're very reliable. Got a great track record, and militaries across the world, I think, are using these guns as well. I mean, not just the Marine Corps and or the Army, but they got a great track record. So you may be thinking, do I need to spend the money? Because these come with a pretty hefty price tag. So let's talk about pricing. I mean, MSRP is $21.49 on these shotguns, and that's typically where they're going to be going for in a lot of gun shops. Some gun shops will have them marked higher. Some maybe usually around, you know, around about $2,000 to $2,100 is, you know, probably the average you're going to find them for. So, and you know, that's really not bad. I mean, as hard as they are to get, in some places, some people are having a real tough time getting them. I mean, I'm completely out of Beretta 1301 tacticals. We just don't have them. We got a fair amount of M4s in because our reps were, you know, working hard to get them in here for us, but it's they're tough to come by these days. So now I talked about the gas system, and also I mentioned that the charging handle, I didn't break it. It's designed to do that. It comes out. There's your bolt assembly, and I'll go ahead and show you even further that there's a retaining pin for the firing pin, and there's your firing pin spring, cam pin, and the bolt. And usually you would find an inertia spring in there, but there is no inertia spring because it's a gas operated shotgun. So I've just pretty much field stripped the shotgun, and now, like I said, this is not a adjustable stock. It looks like it is. And I knew I was going to struggle with something. I knew it. There we go. So you can remove it pretty easily, again, without tools. Now there is a snap pin or retaining pin right there that you would need those pliers I mentioned earlier. That is retaining that spring in there. That I mean, it doesn't need to come out every time you clean it. Now, granted, at some point after, you know, several hundred rounds, 1,000 rounds, whatever, if the gun starts running sluggish, it's time to pull that out of there, clean that up, oil it, and reinsert. So guys, you just saw how easily I pulled the gun apart. I'm surprised I didn't struggle too bad, but these guns were designed to be, like I said, used for a long time, used hard, and they're a masterpiece in my opinion. Yeah, granted, you got that really crazy high price tag, but I mean, if you're buying it for home defense, and this has always perplexed me when customers would come in and say, well, I want a shotgun or I want something to protect my home, but I don't want to spend a ton of money. I'm like, well, okay, you've got a family. Why not spend that extra money knowing you got the best shotgun or the best, you know, the most reliable, you know, shotgun money can buy. And it's, you know, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's like, if this is going to be my primary gun's going to be a shotgun to protect my family, they're worth $2,200, whatever it is after tax. I mean, you wind up spending up to $2,500. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. And then all the fun, you know, Gucci gear you put on it aftermarket. You know, you have, you know, sink about 35, you know, have up to 3,500 in the gun before it's over with, right? But yeah, no, these guns are, you know, I think it's worth it. But I mean, if you decide to use a shotgun, not saying that you know, if you don't buy the shotgun that everything else is trash. Like I said, the Benelli 1301 Tactical, it's been compared. There are videos out there comparing those two shotguns. That gun's around almost half the cost, and it is a very good shotgun. Now, with that cut and drop in price, you do lose some things, but it's not like, I mean, I wouldn't call it a bad shotgun, you know, any stretch of the imagination. You know, that's a very well-made shotgun, and I would feel very confident or safe if I had to use that, as my main self-defense, defensive shotgun. So now I'm going to struggle trying to put this thing back together, get that cam pin in there, orient it right. So, and again, they put a little line on here, to let you know which way it needs to go, so your firing pin can travel through it. Otherwise, there we go. It ought to go in now. Yeah. So again, putting the gun back together, I cleaned it up. It's ready to go back, back out into the field. Put some more rounds down range. I know I'm leaving something out. What am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Oh, here's your charging handle. It snaps right back into place. Give that a little tug, make sure it's working. Oh yeah, duh. I mean, usually I'd have to have like a bench block and a little hammer and a punch, to get all the pins out, but that goes right back together. Now the barrel. Now a lot of people will have issues or struggles, and almost like I did there, drop it. But you can do this a couple different ways. You can start it off by putting these back on there, the plastic pieces on there, kind of get them ready. This is so dumb. See, if you had that, if it just came with the 7-round tube, this would be so much better. And get that going. And screw the fake mag tube back down. There we go. Everything's seated nice and flush there. Looks good. I'm going to put the mag cap back on. Alright, and that's it. It's back together. No extra parts laying around. It works. So yeah, expensive shotgun, but a very well-made shotgun. It's good enough to serve in our U.S. military. So I mean, it would be very much adequate to serve as your home defense shotgun. Now, if you do want, like I said, we got the H2O models, and it does have that more traditional stock on there, as you see. And then we also have the other H2 with the pistol grip and all that good fun stuff. But those do have the fake mag tubes as well. Nothing going to be different there, of course. So yeah, guys, I think I pretty much touched on everything of importance. 18.5-inch barrel, of course. Fixed position stock, fixed mod choke. Yeah, so guys, like I said, if you like this video, please let us know in the comment section. And you notice that Micah isn't here with me today. He's a loser. He thinks that school's more important, doing homework and studying. Loser. But so he's not here with me tonight. I've been trying to get him to do some videos, and we got a bunch of new guns in that I want to do some videos on. Hopefully I can convince him to come back and help, unless we may just fire him and get somebody else. I don't know. It's kind of slacking around here. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Benelli M4 shotgun. Let me know in the comment section if you think the Benelli M4 is an adequate choice for you, or if you just think that semi-autos are just a bad idea altogether. But oh, one thing, I'm going to leave you with this. Okay, if you made it this far in this long, ridiculous video of me rambling, I'm going to tell you this. One thing that bugs gun guys or gun store most employees, especially the younger generation, because I think this was something developed by the older generation, or this saying, I don't know where it came from, where it originated, or this idea that the universal sound of a pump action shotgun, making that noise, will just make intruders run for the hills. Get that out of your head. Stop saying it. It's nonsense. Alright? I don't. First of all, if it's your home defense shotgun, why does it, and you're putting it beside your bed or on the wall in a gun rack, and that's the gun that you're going to use to protect your family, I don't want to make any noise, or I don't want to have to worry about putting a round in the chamber. It should already have a round in the chamber with the safety on, and you know, all they hear is, you know, maybe a bang and a brief bright flash, and game over. But that's just ridiculous, and it makes me cringe every time I hear it. I'm sorry if it offends you. I'm sorry, not really, but it's silly. You know, there's all kinds of silly things that we hear on a daily basis that we just have to laugh at. And like, yeah. Well, you know, maybe well, how about this? Maybe you just already have the gun loaded, and they don't know that you're aware of their presence. And because if they hear that, then maybe they now have the upper hand, because they're just going to wait for you to come out brandishing that thing and fumbling through the house. So think about stuff like that, and think about adding weapon lights and all the other things that would give you the edge, you know, when it comes to home defense firearms. And of course, I mean, this goes without saying, training. Yeah, I know it's hard to find shells, but find them any way you can, buy as many as you can, and get trained. And I don't care if they're light loads, low brass, the cheapest things ever. Failure defeats, that's good training, because that's going to help you, you know, train to clear those jams and get the gun back in the fight. So that's, you know, think of it that way. If you shoot cheap shells, I'll shoot cheap shells, and if they fail, then that's just me getting reps. You know, if the gun fails when I need it, you know, when it matters, I hopefully can be proficient, have that muscle memory kick in, and clear the jam, and keep going, keep doing work. So, all right, guys, I think that's enough rambling for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around and commenting and saying all kind of funny things in the comment section at times. But some stuff I'm just flabbergasted, and I don't know what I'm reading. I don't know if it's just guys messing with me or people from other countries, but whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and you know, tell Micah that he's a loser in the comment section too, if you'd like. Feel free to do that, because I am mad at him, because, you know, he just left me hanging. So, all right, guys. Till next time. See ya.